Have you ever walked into a room, stood there for a second, and completely forgotten why you went in? You laugh it off, maybe mutter something like, "Oh, I'm just getting older," and try to shake it off. But deep down, if we're being really honest with ourselves, it's a little scary, isn't it? That moment of blankness, that fleeting feeling of, wait, what was I just doing? Now, imagine this. What if that wasn't just forgetfulness? What if that moment was your brain quietly waving a red flag? A gentle warning that something deeper, something more serious could be going on? You see, I'm a doctor who works with memory loss every single day. And I gotta tell you, there are 3 daily habits I see over and over again that are silently making memory problems worse. They seem innocent, almost harmless on the surface, but they're not. They're like slow leaks in a boat. You don't notice them right away until you're knee-deep and struggling to stay afloat. And the heartbreaking part? Most people don't realize what's happening until it's too late. Families come to me and say, "We thought mom was just tired," or "We figured dad was just slowing down." But by the time they connect the dots, the damage has already started. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to wake you up. Because the truth is, these habits can be changed. And changing them could mean everything for your brain, your independence, and the quality of your final years. So let me ask you this. Would you rather find out now, when something can be done, or later, when the choices are no longer yours to make? By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what those 3 dangerous habits are, how they slowly chip away at your memory, and most importantly, what you can start doing today to protect yourself or someone you love. If you're ready to take memory health seriously, whether it's for yourself, your parents, your spouse, or a dear friend, drop a quick comment below that says, "I'm here." Let me know you're watching. Let me know you care. And if you want more real, honest, life-changing advice on how to care for your mind and the people you love, hit that subscribe button now. This is Elderly Care, and we're in this together. Let's talk about the first habit, one I see all the time in my clinic. And it starts with someone like Mr. Thompson. Now, Mr. Thompson, he was a retired librarian, spent his entire career surrounded by books, knowledge, ideas. He loved reading. He loved talking about what he read. His mind was sharp, curious, always engaged. But when he retired, things changed. The books stayed on the shelf. The long conversations stopped. And slowly, without even realizing it, he slipped into a quiet routine. No more mental challenges. No more learning. Just comfort and silence. Within a few months, his daughter noticed something. He started repeating himself, forgetting where he placed things. He'd start a sentence and trail off halfway through. They told themselves, "Well, Dad's just getting older." But it wasn't age, it was inactivity. His brain was starving for stimulation. You see, your brain is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But when you stop challenging it, when you stop asking it to solve problems, remember new things, adapt, grow, those neural pathways that keep memory sharp, they start to shrink, fade, disconnect. And here's the real kicker. Most people think they're keeping their brain active by doing a crossword here, a puzzle there, or watching the news. But that's not enough. Puzzles, when done out of habit, become routine. TV? That's passive. Your brain's not working, it's just absorbing. Even scrolling on your phone or checking Facebook doesn't do what you think it does. It doesn't stretch the mind. The mistake families make is thinking that comfort equals health. They'll say, "Well, mom's relaxed, she's watching her shows, she's doing her little word games." But what they don't see is the slow, quiet erosion underneath. Now, I'm not saying go sign up for night school or learn calculus. What I'm saying is mix things up, keep your brain guessing, read something out loud, play memory games with your grandchildren, try learning a few words in another language. Yes, even at 80, even if it feels silly. Write down your memories. Recall and recite them. Sing along to music and try to remember the lyrics. Play games that require conversation, strategy, or movement. And most importantly, do these things regularly. Not once a week, not when I remember. Make it a part of daily life. Because the truth is, the moment your brain gets too comfortable is the moment it begins to shut the door on memory. And mental stimulation? It's not just about avoiding memory loss. It's about staying alive inside, staying curious, staying present. But mental stimulation isn't the only habit we overlook. There's another one, something so common, so ordinary, that most people never question it. Yet quietly wreaks havoc on memory, faster than almost anything else. Let's talk about that next. Now, let me introduce you to Maria. Maria is 78. She's warm, kind, always looking after others. She bakes the best lemon cake you've ever tasted. But lately, she's been forgetting recipes she's known by heart for decades. Her daughter brought her to me, worried she might be showing signs of dementia. And when I sat down with Maria, I asked her a few simple questions. One of them was, "How well are you sleeping these days?" She smiled and said, "Oh, I've always been a light sleeper. I get maybe 4 hours a night." She said it like it was normal, like it was something to be proud of. I don't need much sleep. But here's the thing. That 4 hours? It's not enough. Not for memory. Not for the brain. See, when you sleep, your brain doesn't shut down. It goes to work. In deep sleep, particularly during a phase called slow wave sleep, your brain starts its nightly cleanup. It clears out waste products like beta amyloid. That's the same sticky protein that builds up in the brains of people with Alzheimer's. If you're not getting that deep sleep, night after night, those toxins start to pile up. Think of it like a sink that never gets unclogged. Eventually, the buildup starts affecting everything. Memory, focus, mood, even personality. And the sad part is, many seniors don't think sleep is all that important. They'll say, "I've always been fine on just a few hours." Or worse, they'll reach for a pill. Over-the-counter sleep aids, or even prescription ones, might knock you out, but they often interfere with memory consolidation. That's the process where your brain takes everything you experience during the day, every face, every conversation, every thought, and locks it into long-term memory. If that process gets interrupted, your brain can't store what it learned. It's like saving a file on your computer, but the power cuts off before it finishes. So what can you do? First, ditch the screens. Phones, tablets, TVs, they all mess with your internal clock. Shut them down at least an hour before bed. Second, keep a regular sleep schedule. Same bedtime, same wake-up time. Your brain loves consistency. Third, try natural methods to wind down. A warm bath, gentle stretches, soft music, herbal teas like chamomile or valerian root. And if your mind races at night, try journaling before bed. Dump the thoughts out of your head and onto paper. Because sleep isn't just rest, it's repair. It's the moment your brain resets, refreshes, and restores itself. And for seniors, it's one of the most powerful tools you have to protect your memory. But let me tell you something. Even if you're getting good sleep, even if you're keeping your mind sharp with books and puzzles and learning new things, there's still one more habit, one more silent threat that most people miss. It's something that feels harmless, even peaceful, but it slowly stars your brain in ways you wouldn't expect. Let's talk about that next. Let me tell you about James. He's 82, a quiet man, a widower, lived in the same house for over 40 years. Still keeps his late wife's photo on the mantle, next to her favorite vase. When I visited James, I noticed something almost immediately. He was polite, gentle, but something was off. He'd start telling a story, then circle back and tell it again 5 minutes later. He'd call people by the wrong names, and sometimes he'd just drift off mid-sentence, staring past me like I wasn't even there. When I asked how long it had been since he'd had a real conversation with someone, he paused, then said, "I think my son called last week. Or maybe the week before." And in that moment, my heart broke. You see, social isolation doesn't just affect the heart. It doesn't just bring loneliness. It rewires the brain. Here's what most people don't realize. Talking with others, really talking, not just small talk, is one of the most mentally stimulating things a person can do. Every conversation you have pulls memories from the past, applies logic to the present, and helps your brain process emotion, tone, nuance. It keeps your executive functions, the brain's decision-making center, awake. It forces the memory center to work. It calls on empathy, language, rhythm, all at once. When someone like James goes days, weeks, without meaningful interaction, it's like a part of the brain goes into hibernation. And here's the dangerous misconception. Families will often say, "Well, he's safe. He's at home. He has his TV, his meals, his medications. But safety isn't the same as connection. Being alone isn't just about being physically by yourself. It's about living in silence, about not being seen, not being heard. And over time, that silence starts to echo in the brain. What can you do? You don't have to fix everything at once. But even small, intentional changes can make a massive difference. Set up weekly calls with grandkids, old friends, neighbors. Encourage local community groups, book clubs, gardening circles, church lunches. Even 10-minute chats with someone at the grocery store can light up the mind. Ask open questions. Let your loved one tell stories, even if you've heard them before. Because every time they recall a memory, that memory strengthens. It becomes more vivid, more anchored. If you're far away, leave voice messages instead of just texts. Let them hear your voice. Send video clips, photos, letters they can hold. Anything that says, you are not alone. You are still connected to the world. And if you're someone watching this who feels that isolation yourself, please don't wait for someone else to reach out. Make the first move. Join a group. Call an old friend. Say hello to your neighbor. Your brain and your heart need it more than you know, because loneliness doesn't just affect your mood. It affects your memory. And over time, it could do more harm than any illness you've been warned about. Now that we've explored these 3 quiet habits that can slowly erode memory, skipping mental stimulation, poor sleep, and social disconnection, let's take a moment to talk about the emotional side of all this. Because recognizing these signs is one thing, but knowing what to do with that awareness, that's where the real strength comes in. I know this isn't easy to hear. It's painful to admit that someone you love, someone who once seemed so sharp, so full of life, may be starting to slip away. It sneaks up on you. One day they forget where they placed their glasses. Then a week later, they forget a name. Then you realize they've stopped calling as much. They're quieter. You start seeing pieces of them fade, and it hurts in a way that words don't quite reach. But here's the thing. There's still time. There's still so much you can do. Recognizing these signs, these quiet habits that slowly chip away at memory, it's not a curse. It's a gift, because now you know, and with that knowledge, you've been given something most people don't get. The opportunity to make a change before it's too late. You're not helpless in this. You're not standing by while the tide rolls in. You're standing with open eyes, with open arms, and a heart that says, I see what's happening, and I choose to show up. You can protect your loved one's mind. You can preserve their independence. You can give them back pieces of themselves that they thought were gone. And it doesn't take grand, sweeping changes. It starts with the smallest things. Take 5 minutes today. Just 5. Call someone you care about. Ask how they slept. Remind them of a memory you both share. Read them a poem. Invite them to sit outside and feel the sunlight. Laugh together. Really laugh from the belly. And if you're caring for yourself, start there too. Close the laptop early tonight. Pick up a book. Take a walk. Make space for stillness, for sleep, for connection. Memory loss is hard. It's unfair. It's heavy. But love is heavier. Love can carry it. And love, when paired with awareness, when paired with the courage to notice and to act, it can change the story. Maybe not erase the struggle, but soften it. Maybe not stop the aging, but preserve the dignity. Maybe not undo the forgetting, but fill the days with something more powerful, presence. So don't walk away from this video and forget what you've just heard. Don't chalk it up as just another thing about getting older. Walk away with your heart open, your eyes open, and a quiet promise to yourself that you'll do what you can while you still can. Because that is the greatest gift we can give the people we love. So let's take a breath and bring it all back. We talked about 3 habits, 3 quiet, ordinary parts of daily life that, when left unchecked, can slowly chip away at memory. Skipping mental challenges, poor sleep hygiene, and social isolation. On their own, they might not seem like much. A lazy evening, a restless night, a quiet week. But over time, these things layer up. They form patterns. And those patterns, they shape how the brain ages. This isn't about fear. It's about power. Because now you know, and when you know what's behind the curtain, you can do something about it. You can build better routines. You can start asking better questions. And you can show up, not just for your loved ones, but for yourself, too. I want to hear from you. Have you noticed any of these habits sneaking into the life of someone you care about? Or maybe you've seen it in yourself. A little more forgetfulness, a little less energy, a little more time alone than you'd like to admit? Share it in the comments. You never know who else is reading, who might feel less alone because you spoke up. And I read those comments. I learn from them. I listen. And if you found value in this conversation, if this helped you in even a small way, consider subscribing to Elderly Care. This channel isn't just about facts. It's about stories, support, compassion. It's about walking through aging with awareness and grace together. So stay with us. Join the conversation. Bring someone else into it. Because the more we talk about these things, the better we care. Thank you for spending this time with me, for listening, for being open, for caring enough to learn. Stay kind, stay curious, and remember, small steps today can shape a better tomorrow. I'll see you in the next video.